gentlemen, when you're making a speech to anyone, it's never sort of an easy thing. It's a bit stressful, etc. But what does help is the people who are listening listen. In other words, listen to every pearly word of wisdom that comes from the speakers. Yeah, I know. You know where I'm going now, don't you? You know where I'm going now. So I want you to now listen very carefully for the next hour, about an hour, to the father of the bride, David Hannett. Come on, David.
In case you still haven't realised who I am, I am Jennifer, very proud father. As you probably know, tomorrow is Father's Day.
Oh, it's all about you.
Jennifer has given me the best possible present for Father's Day. She has given me a new member of my family, Guy Horseman, and we are tremendously proud to welcome him. If you know Jennifer at all, you know that every coin has two sides. The other side of this coin is that she's given me the present, dressing up in this daft suit. Jennifer is a wonderful person, but I'm slightly biased. But she has inherited from her mother some of the best possible characteristics. She is warm-hearted, generous, loyal, and very supportive. She's also cranky, and bad-tempered, and likes a drink or two. Now, where has she got those characteristics? Jennifer's mum and I, one of our favourite television programmes was The Martian Chronicles, which was on television many years ago. And we developed a huge affinity towards Martians. Whenever we could, we associated with them and talked to them and got to know them. As it happens, some of them landed in South Wales. They were blown off course, but you know, otherwise why would you land in South Wales? They were really good people. And we found that they were brave, very proud of themselves, and not at all too stupid. One of the favourite ones, we'll call him Mervyn because I can't pronounce his original Martian name, it was really too silly for words. He was a nice bloke, and we used to go out with him a few times. One time we took him out, and he was in the pub. And as you do in pubs, you get into arguments with people. And he got into an argument with a Russian and an American who happened to be in the same pub at the same time. And they were talking about their journeys through space and how good one was to the other and how better they were. And the Russian said, well, there really is no competition. Because we were the first. If you tell this story before I finish. The Russian said, we were the first in space. You know, we really had it cracked. The American said, oh, nonsense. You know, we landed on the moon. And Mervyn listened to all this. He said, no, I think you're greatly mistaken. We are the greatest astronauts ever. We're going to land on the sun. And they laughed at him. They said, no, you can't land on the sun. You stupid man. It's too hot. You'll be burned to a cinder. You'll be destroyed. And he said, well, excuse me, we're not stupid, you know. We're going at night. He was also a very brave man, Mervyn. At one time, we took him to a garden party in some rich bloke's country estate. This bloke was very proud of himself, and he said, "Oh, it's a lovely estate. Look at that pool I've got over there. It's absolutely magnificent." And everyone said, "Yeah, okay, fine. You've got a pool." He said, "But what I have in there is the largest crocodile in captivity." So everyone said, "Right, okay, fine." He said, "I'll tell you what, I will give £1 million to anyone who actually gets into that pool with a crocodile." Hardly were the words out of his mouth. There was a huge splash and roars and shouts. Everyone turned around, and there was Marvin in the pool with the crocodile. And there was absolute uproar. There was water going everywhere, fights, screams, and shouts. And you know, they all thought, "My God, what is going on?" Anyway, eventually, he got the better of this blasted crocodile, and he strangled it. So there was very quiet silence, and then he threw it up on the side of the pool. He climbed out. So they all said, "Oh, that's absolutely great. How'd you get on?" But the guy whose house it was, whose garden it was, rushed up and said, "Look, I reckon I owe you, because you have won the bet, you got into the swimming pool with the crocodile. You know, how can I pay you? What can I do? Where do you want the money?" And he said, "No, I don't want your money. Money's no use to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. You know, your earthling pounds don't mean a thing." So he said, "Oh, well, all right, maybe I'll give you a car. You can have any car you like. The best car in the world." And he said, "No, I don't need a car. I don't want a car. I travel by thought. You know, I just go from here to there. I don't need cars." So they went on bickering for ages anyway, about this, what he was going to get and what he was going to get. And eventually, the Martian said, "I'll tell you what I do want. What I do really, really want." And he said, "Well, what's that? You can have anything you like." And he said, "What I really need is the name of the bugger who pushed me in." This story to show you that Martians really aren't stupid. I met him one day, going around the park in He had two lovely dogs with him. I said, "They're absolutely great. They were really, really good-looking German Shepherds, or Alsatians, as we used to call them when I was little." And I said, "They're great dogs." And they were actually wonderful. And they did everything he wanted, they did everything, they followed him around, and they obeyed his commands. And I said, "They're absolutely brilliant. What are their names?" He said, "Oh, well, one's called Timex, and the other's called Rolex." So I said, "You can't really call them that. They're brand names. You know, why do you call them that?" And he looked at me and he said, "Duh, idiot." He said, "They're watchdogs." Jennifer has given me enormous pleasure over the years. She's a tremendous girl, and she has brought Guy into our family, and I commend them both to you in the strongest possible terms. They are a wonderful pair, and I wish them every possible success and every possible happiness through life. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer and Guy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second act this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, to respond on behalf of his wife and himself, the bridegroom, Guy Horseman. Yeah, I was going to leave then.
No, you can't leave just yet.
No, I mean, thank you, David, for those kind words, and
bizarre words as well.
There is one that's
I hadn't predicted that you were going to say any of that. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for all of you for coming to spend the day with us. Friends, family, people at the back there that just come in for a free meal. It's a delight. Yes, hello. I can see you waving, even though we shoved you over the back. So basically, thank you very much. My wife and I would like I don't really understand jokes. Jen always explains jokes to me. And I was told to say that, and everyone thinks it's funny. And I had no idea what David was going on. But no, we thank you very much for spending our day with us and making it so special. We thank you especially the people that have come a massive distance. Amanda over there has made it all the way from Australia. Where are you from, Patrick?
London.
New Zealand. Before that?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. But it doesn't count because you ruined my joke.
Yeah.
And my relatives have come from America as well. I've got my aunt Glyn over here and Ashley and Tyler over there. So thank you very much for coming. You're not the only one. And Steph made it all the way over as well. She blagged her way over on a plane without a ticket. So that's But thank you for bringing the wine for the evening. That was good. And thank you also to Ant and Louise, who've made it all the way from Aylesbury, which is they haven't left Aylesbury for a long time. It's about 25 miles though, so we're pushing it really. And Ant phoned me up this morning and said, would it be okay if we moved the wedding to be in our back garden? We've got a barbecue set up. But he hadn't checked the weather forecast. So, thank you to those who've travelled from far and wide. But I do want to spare a thought for those who are not here. And there's two people in particular that I want to mention. The first is Jen's mum, Geraldine, who sadly passed away 2.5 years ago after losing her second battle to cancer. Many of you have given through our gift website to Marie Curie, and that money is going to the Penarth Hospice where Geraldine was looked after so compassionately the last few months of her life. And then just before Christmas, sadly, Geraldine's mother passed away, Jen's grandmother passed away on Christmas morning after being rushed to hospital, and that was sad news for us and obviously also for her other children. So Marion and Ron, we'd love for Maura to have been here today. And both Maura and Geraldine would have loved to have seen Jennifer looking as amazing as she does today. Ultimately, thank you to David and Geraldine for bringing Jennifer into the world and creating such an amazing, beautiful, intelligent, strong-willed, argumentative.
Alright, you don't need to go on.
And David, thank you. 363 days ago, I spoke to you on the phone and you authorised me to ask for Jennifer's hand in marriage.
That was the nicest thing anyone has said to me in ages.
Take her away. So David, you can trust me when I say I will always love her and protect Jennifer.
Boy, you better.
And thanks also to the other people on this table, my mum and my dad for making me. I think that was a pretty good job. thanks to my mum who dragged me up.
I'm scrubbing your neck.
Yeah, and turned me into the little treasure I am today. And for always being there for me. Thank you very much. Yes, no. I'm speaking now. Thanks to my dad, especially for my sense of humour and my hair. Thanks to Beth for looking after my dad for so many years, making him a happy and almost sane man. And for giving me two, I was going to say lovely sisters, two sisters. And last but definitely not least, Jeff at the end there, or Jeffers, for always being there for my mum and for me as well. And for always keeping an interest alive in my heart for public transport. He also taught me it was never too early to drink wine.
It was your fault, not mine.
And he's genuinely just a top bloke, and he's taught me, hopefully, to be a reasonable bloke as well. So, I met Jen, this one here, 10 years ago, 2003. Jen made the unfortunate mistake of getting a job at Chiltern Railway. She didn't want the job, but there was nothing else going, so she turned up. And Christ love, you wouldn't have stayed there really with James and Paul, but never mind. So, I remember the first time I saw Jen, she said, I am going to revolutionise the social lives of everyone in the market. And I saw her again about 2 years later when she eventually organised a night out. And
Gone out a lot just without you.
I've written that as a warning on the back, actually. And it turned into a Friday night out at the pub every week, and then a Thursday and Friday night out at the pub every week, and then a Wednesday, Thursday. And then occasionally we turned up for work. And then by 2007 we turned into a bit of an item. And in 2009... 4 years of drinking, yeah. Then, no, that was Romana trying right up down the end. And then by 2009, I'd realised I'd fallen in love with my best friend. So Jen jumped in there. But no, I'm very grateful that Jen has lowered her standards to be. Now, I think some people heard about our proposal story, but I'm going to say it again anyway. Last year we went on our second annual Italy trip. And yeah, people are thinking about that.
It's only the second time you've gone.
And I decided that I was going to propose to Jen. I'd asked for permission. I'd been granted it, so that was good. Good start. So now I actually had to go through with it. And I thought the best way of doing this is to write it in her birthday card, and then I couldn't back out. So in her birthday card it said, basically, will you marry me? With some humour. And so I thought all was well. We'd organised a romantic restaurant to go to for the evening of Jen's birthday last year. Except by lunchtime, Jen was getting the arse a little bit. Her exact words were, "We've come all the way to Italy and you haven't bought me a fucking birthday." That's her word. I didn't say that. rest of the afternoon. And we eventually got to the restaurant and we sat down. And then the starters came and I presented her birthday card. Then she opened it and then she started crying. And then I got the ring out of my pocket and it turned out I wasn't just pleased to see her. And then Jen started to cry. Now the problem is that when Jen gets emotional, she can't eat. So I got 2 meals. So double result. I want to thank Jen, especially for organising all of this, basically. She's done it all. Jen in association with Bill Gates. Because it was all done by the power of Excel spreadsheets.
At home, not at work.
Yeah, he's over there. Keep quiet.
Bill Gates' budget.
But I've forgotten what I was going to say. What's going to come next? I haven't got all that in my notes. It's all in my head. So, well, no, I haven't got it. I've just got to thank Jen for organising the wedding. So after that, I was going to go on to say blah 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 blah. Oh, yeah, because I haven't got a clue what you need to do to organise a wedding. I wasn't even prepared to invite anybody.
Nice.
Absolutely not. Well, I was prepared to not. It would have made it a lot cheaper. But no, Jen's done absolutely everything to organise this, and the fact that you're all here is I mean, apart from the fact that you said yes, is basically testament to Jen organising it all. So well done. Thank you, Jen. Nearly finished. Sorry? I don't think it has. I think it's taken this one. So, a few people that we just have some special thank yous for. Firstly, right now.
Has he gone down?
You see, I'm incredibly organised.
Well, yeah. It is incredible.
First of all, we have Lily for looking amazing in your little flower girl's dress. Ladies and gentlemen, just before he does it, do you notice the name?
Of what?
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Yeah. Can you tell what the other one was? No, I don't think it was Rolex. Where's Joe?
Who?
Good.
We can get some later.
Well, here's a thank you to James for also looking splendid in his suit, like a miniature, a washed version of me. A big thank you to the ushers, Powerful Pierre, Pete's over there, and Ben Halifax with a video over there. Are you videoing or are you just sitting down eating cake? Yeah, so thank you for doing whatever it is that ushers do. Oh, no, turned up in a suit. Well done. Do you mind coming up? Because I'm starting to lose weight. Now, obviously, Pete needs to be commemorated. Commemorated? Is that right?
No, he's still here.
Thanks for his speech, for his little reading. But Dana, where on earth did you get that from? Get yourself up here, lady.
Oh no, I don't like people looking at me.
Dana didn't like that. Now, Now, obviously, Ant is the best man. He's done a pretty good job, actually. Do you know what? Well done. I actually was about to leave the house without the rings this morning. And he did say, do you think you need the rings? So he has done very, very well. I would like to thank him, only I haven't heard his speech yet. So we're going to hold off on that one. What we'll do is, in lieu of thanks, we'll give you a little bottle of something that we'll share with you later.
Yeah, we're going third.
And then the reason for my speech, of course, is to thank the beautiful bridesmaids for helping Jen today, because she's been a bag of nerves and she couldn't have done it without you, I don't. So thank you to. Which order should we do this? Is it?
Well, this one here.
I'll tell you what. I don't know which one's which.
That's Joe.
I know that one's Emma. Thank you very much. That's Claire's. Claire, hello. And finally Joe. So, can I ask you all to be upstanding? Stand up a bit better than you did last time. And join with me in a toast. A toast to the bridesmaids.
Absolutely. Bridesmaids. Two of whom are mine. I know,
Ladies and gentlemen, now a response on behalf of the bridesmaids, and I'm sure a lot of other things. Best man, Anthony Hunter!
And Jennifer's dad.
On behalf of the bridesmaids, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you.
You were one of them.
Yeah. It's dress warm.
Right, so it's my job to tell a few amusing stories about Guy. Unfortunately, this is somewhat harder than you might imagine. I'm not sure where to start. I met Guy almost 20 years ago. I was going to say we were studying at Southampton University, but I was going to say we were students. The reaction of one of our lecturers taking a practice exam pretty much sums it up. 6 months into our first year, he walked into the lab and he said, "Arr, so you're Halifax, Hollywall, Horseman and Hunt."
Are you sure that's what he said?
One event that sticks in my mind in this period was one of the first waters to become many ships, the Rose of India Curry House.
Ah, yes, sir.
We went there last night.
No, we didn't.
No, Guy spent half an hour explaining in great detail the difference between a train spotter and a rail enthusiast. For anyone who's unsure, Guy apparently is in the latter category. Or you
Rail enthusiast.
Yeah. As far as I can make out, basically, a rail enthusiast doesn't actually write down the numbers.
No, you've got his mother to do it.
But it's unfortunate to note that the Rose of India sadly ceased trading 2 months after Guy left Southampton. I'm sure it's unrelated. Another memorable occasion was Guy's first and probably last Lake District camping holiday. Continuing his quest to prove the reliability of public transport, Guy insisted on hitting the train, and another train, and a train. And a bus. It's true.
Yeah.
And then another train, on its own, whilst we all travelled by car.
Who got there first?
Guy did.
A week before.
So, Guy had been lucky enough to borrow a tent for his camping trip. Unfortunately, his tent was a bit dimensionally challenged, resulting in Guy sleeping with his legs out the end of the tent. After some particularly heavy rain, Guy's tent proved extremely waterproof. Unfortunately, for Guy, the missing section of fly sheet proved to be fairly vital in keeping the inside of the tent dry. The result being Guy waking literally in a paddle pool of water. I put he says 6 inches.
9 inches.
And then there was a time, Guy was staying with some friends in Southampton. Everyone went out for the evening, and at some stage, Guy got lost. He lost contact with the rest of the group. And given that it was a weekend, it's probably safe to say that he'd lost it in Wales. Anyway, so after the night out, Guy heads back to the house. It's quite late, and he's a nice chap, so he thought, I know what, I don't want to wake people up. I'll sleep in the shed. So in the morning, he was spotted exiting the shed, but unfortunately it was in the wrong garden. Well, on a more serious note, it's not possible for me to talk about Guy without mentioning his complete obsession with all things transport and planning. He's come a long way from the days sat in his room in Southampton writing timetables for his local railway. The head of something I put here very important. Short railways, I don't really know what you
Something very important.
Well, I
No
will
one
tell
else
you
knows
a short story to demonstrate just how exceptional Guy is at his job. I was going to tell you about the time, back on the infamous Lake District camping holiday, when Guy organised a day trip into Ravenglass on the train. Do you remember this? Sadly, he forgot the clocks had gone forward. And left half the group stranded 20 miles from the campsite. But I think the best example of his planning abilities was the trip up to Birmingham to collect some unbelievably large PA gear he'd bought.
It's stored in our garage.
It was a straightforward plan, really. Drive up there in his van, Victor Alpha November. Or, more correctly, I should say one of his vans, Victor Alpha November. Alpha.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, so we drive up to Birmingham, collect the PA gear, drive home, have a curry. So Guy had planned the trip with his usual attention to detail. We had maps, printed route plan, A to Z of both London and Bristol. I didn't get. And a Depeche Mode CD. But luckily for me, the van didn't have a CD player. Anyway, so we drive up to Birmingham, arrive at one of the largest sound and lighting hire companies in England. We reverse Victor Alpha November Alpha up to one of the large roller doors and head in to see the sales chap. After sorting the paperwork, we stood up on the balcony chatting to Metallica's sound engineer. As we watched the chaps downstairs opening the roller door. Yeah, and at this point I should say that the gear we'd bought was stacked up by the door. 4 speakers,
Yeah, it was
tall as me.
a couple of MT2s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
MT2s.
that wide. They were
Oh, yeah.
big speakers. Really quite rough. Anyway, so the chaps opened the roller door, and then they opened at the back of the van. And in what was possibly one of the, well, without question, most embarrassing situation I've ever been in, it became immediately apparent that despite planning malfunction had occurred, the van was already completely full of PA gear. Good. Well, I would just like to end by saying this. It's a great honour for me to stand here today as best man to someone who's been such a good friend to me over the years. And speaking of someone who's known Guy for so many years, it's been lovely for me to watch the changing guy as he's got to know Jen. No, he's got to know Jen. And witness the joy and happiness they clearly bring to each other's lives.
Woo!
Yeah.
Shall I say that? At this point, Guy would say, fingers out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses in a toast to the bride and groom.
Very special bride and groom.
Apparently it's something else.
Now, that's the end of my speech.
Right, yeah.
But I have this.
Put in a box of biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah. It's empty.
No.
It's a box of wedding keepsakes.
Okay.
And she's asked me to read
Oh, okay.
The contents?
yeah.
Okay.
This is you.
So this is a box.
Surprise, surprise.
Sorry? Oh, the tin. Sorry. The tin.
Alright, it's a tin box.
From Guy's mum to Guy and Jen. And in it are a selection of items. Is this okay?
Yeah, come on, keep
So, there's a candle. Candle? Well, give me a candle. Yeah. And it's a reminder that you light up each other's life. And there's a safety pin. To fix the unexpected. Okay.
When your
Wasn't
trousers
expecting that.
wreck.
It does have malfunction. And we have a plaster to heal wounded feelings.
Oh.
And we need a button.
button, yeah.
Oh, the button.
So it's a button. A button. A reminder that sometimes you may need more. Sorry, may need to button your lip.
I think that's the only thing we need.
It says a rubber. What's that?
An eraser. It's a rubber, Dana.
It's a reminder to forgive and rub out the mistakes of life.
You're not already regretting it, are you?
A marble. To replace any you may lose on the way. It's a cotton wool ball. Push in the road if it gets bumpy.
Yeah, it's going to have to be not very bumpy.
Okay, so
I'd use the balloon.
okay, now we have 5p coins. So you'll never be broke.
Yeah, we saw it now, aren't we?
That'll be useful later.
Yeah, that's the same as well.
No, we might be 5 people.
Yeah, about
A balloon for celebration. Today being the first. And a paper clip. Paper. Keep them together.
Guy, don't make it
This is
yeah, that's
oh, okay. Okay. Hug vouchers. No need to explain. Several here remember to get reprints. Oh.
We used one.
Okay, it says here a blank CD. This is for romance. Record your special tune.
Tune. What means romance to you?
And finally, we're missing.
Is that what it was?
It says here a quote from Jeremiah. Is that not in there?
It's a quote.
Oh, that's not in there.
Quote.
Sorry.
It's not in here.
Okay.
You've got to read it.
So this is. So it's Jeremiah 29, verse 11. I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. Plans for your welfare and not for harm. To give you a future and hope. And that is the end.
Well done.